Today I'm making a deeply delicious sandwich with a loaf of my sourdough bread. Welcome to my channel. I'm Sharon Roberts, sourdough expert, author and chef, and founder of LearnSourdough.co.uk. This loaf came out of my oven last night, and it's actually from one of my own recipes called My First Sourdough Loaf, and it's made using one of my powerful high performance sourdough starters with one of my white wheat sourdough starter. So let's have a look at this gorgeous loaf of bread. Now, as you can see, somebody in my household couldn't wait to take a slice out of it. So I'm afraid I'm demonstrating with a couple of slices missing. But anyway, let me show you how absolutely delicious this loaf looks, and the smell is absolutely extraordinary. This whole room is perfumed with the smell of fresh bread. You just cannot beat it. So the loaf, the colour is absolutely lovely, and it's made with Stoats rye and Stoats strong white flour, and Stoats flour is my local mill in Dorset. And the lovely thing about rye is it gives a white loaf a really nice country look. Now have a look closely at the crumb. Now what's happened here is that when the loaf hit the incredible intense heat of my cast iron sheet in the oven when it was really hot, you can see that all the dough and all the carbon dioxide are literally running away from the heat of the very hot pan, and that gives it a really lovely look. And you can see here the gluten development, where you've got this lovely burst where it gives the loaf, it makes the loaf bigger when the gluten actually burst, when the dough actually burst out on the top of the dough here, and that's a really controlled burst. That's when you slash your dough. And this was actually made in this tin, which is it's a 500-gram loaf, by the way, and this is a really good non-stick pan, and it's actually one of my favorites, and that's what the loaf was made in. Now I am going to be making a really delicious, a deeply umami sandwich today, and it's my breakfast, and I'm going to be using this very nice product. So let me tell you a little bit about this. It's yeast extract actually, and it's made by a company called Meridian, and they're in Hampshire. And Hampshire are just across the border. This is the next county along actually from Dorset, and they're just across the border from me. And I do like to support local. So this has a really deeply umami flavour, and it smells absolutely wonderful. And it's a similar product too, but I think better than Marmite. Now Marmite, you either love it or you hate it, and it's an iconic product in the UK, and it's iconic because Marmite has been made since 1902, and it's still being made in the same factory in the north of England, in Burton-on-Trent. And I think Marmite is too salty. It doesn't have a depth of flavour. But then I've never been a big fan of Marmite, and there'll be lots of you that will love Marmite. So let me know, do you like Marmite? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Leave me a comment in the comments below. But I would challenge you to try this, to do a taste comparison with Marmite and this very nice product. Now this product here, also you can get it in a low salt as well, which this one is. So I put some bread on my butter, I put some butter on my bread even, and it's lovely butter, and I think that this product goes really well with butter on some really good bread. Now Marmite is such an iconic product that in 2016 one of the very big giant supermarkets actually ran out of Marmite, and there was a Marmite crisis. Can you imagine a Marmite crisis? And this giant supermarket started making their own brand. So I mean, that was way back then in 2016. But anyway, let me have a little taste of this and I will tell you what it tastes like. It has a really umami flavour. And with umami flavours, one of the contrasts, it can be described as meaty. Now this does not have any meat in it. It's 100% vegan and veggie friendly. But with some foods, and that's a lot of fermented foods as well, they can have this almost the depth of a really powerful tomato sauce, you know, verging on that kind of flavour. And this has got a lovely rounded flavour, and the smell is actually quite mild, and it's not too salty either. And it just, you know, when your jaw goes all tingly, that's what this does. Absolutely delicious. So making your own sourdough bread and being able to have some wonderful fillings in a sandwich is just the ultimate pleasure. And to be able to make real bread, which is so good for you, is just really one of the pleasures of life. Now, yeast extract is the reason why it's really good for you is because it's full of B vitamins, and our bodies cannot produce vitamin B, so we have to eat it and find it from foods. And this yeast extract is packed with vitamin B, and yeast extract is a byproduct of the beer making process. So if you're a beer maker, then you'll be familiar with the yeasty froth that floats to the surface of the liquid just before it becomes beer. And this doesn't have any use to the beer maker, but it's used in products like this, and it makes a really, really good product. It's absolutely delicious. So this is my breakfast. So just to mention here that there are some links below. Have a look at the links, they're all useful. And thank you for watching, and see you again very soon.